Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of WTC's Fiberside Chats. I'm Jeff Sackrider, WTC's Manhattan Market Manager. Today, we are shooting on location at one of my favorite places in Manhattan, the Sunset Zoo. I have with me Scott and Melissa with the zoo to talk about the Adopt Grant, which is an initiative from the Kansas Office of Broadband Development, and it was designed to provide Wi-Fi access, public Wi-Fi access across the state of Kansas. WTC was awarded a little more than $800,000 to provide free Wi-Fi to 124 different access points in the city of Manhattan. Again, this is all thanks to Governor Kelly and the Office of Broadband Development, and we are just really excited to get this going. One of those locations is here at the zoo, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to sit down with Scott and Melissa, learn a little bit about the zoo, and hear how you're going to be able to use that. So first, if you'd like to introduce yourselves, Scott.
I'm Scott Shoemaker, and I'm the zoo director.
And I'm Melissa Kirkwood. I am the Marketing and Development Officer here at the zoo.
Well, welcome, and thanks so much for giving us some time today. So, Scott, you're the director of the zoo. How long have you been here?
I've been here since 1996, so I have to do the math there, 28 years.
Is this what you wanted to do when you grew up?
All my life. It's
Great.
the greatest job in the world.
Tell us about the zoo. How long has the zoo been here in Manhattan?
So Sunset Zoo's been here since 1933. It was originally a WPA project. If you're not familiar with WPA, look it up. You can have a little history lesson. But it was basically a program started during the Depression to kind of put people back to work. Put a lot of stonemasons to work, a lot of just common laborers that built all those exhibits that started Sunset Zoo.
Whenever I see anything about Sunset Zoo, I always notice that it says something that it's accredited. What does that mean?
So we are accredited by the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, otherwise known as AZA, and it creates a set of guidelines that we operate by, and it goes to all aspects of our operations. They inspect our animal care, obviously, and our vet care. They look at our education programming. They look at staff and staff training. We'll have 3 professionals from other zoos come in and inspect us every 5 years. Very rigorous process to get accredited. There are roughly 2,500 zoos in the United States. About 250 of them are accredited by AZA. What it allows me to tell our Manhattan community is that the care we give our animals here is as good as what San Diego does, or St. Louis, or any of the big zoos that you can think about, because they all go through the same process for accreditation. It means a lot to me personally, but professionally it's a big deal that we're accredited.
Yeah, and I think that just means that when people come and visit your zoo, they can see those animals in their enclosures and know that they're happy and healthy and taken care of and have just everything that they need
Correct.
and want in life, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yep. That's our goal.
Melissa, you were talking just a little bit about the zoo earlier today. Can you kind of share with us a little more?
We are proud to be a community asset, and we see ourselves as that and want everyone to be able to access the zoo. And we have a variety of ways that they can access the zoo, whether it's just stopping in to visit and pay admission, or becoming a member of the zoo, or coming on one of our free days that we offer. So we want to make sure that it's accessible to all, and your grant is really helping us make that more accessible to everyone. One of the things that we do is we try to provide great education. Our mission is to provide conservation education, and one of the ways that we can do that is through great educational programming, but sometimes we can't do it without access to Wi-Fi.
So I know you have a lot of kids that come through the zoo on a regular basis. Can you talk about, are there opportunities for Wi-Fi to enhance those learning opportunities with the kids?
There sure are. So kids come to us in all different ways. They can come as a visitor. They can also come in part of our programming like summer camp. So summer camp, we have lots of kids here on a daily basis. Part of their day is about learning, and it's about online learning. And with Wi-Fi access, they're going to be able to learn and expand their knowledge so much more.
Moving around the zoo, the grounds, how many acres did you tell me this the zoo is?
So we have 26 developed acres, right, Mr. Shoemaker? So 26 acres is a fairly large park for Manhattan, and we are a very unique park with lots of life to it, lots of animals, lots of plants, lots of things.
And are there ways that Wi-Fi at those different enclosures, you can utilize that from a guest experience?
A lot of our newer graphics have QR codes on them. And it's an attempt to personalize the graphics. People don't like reading graphics, but if you click on the QR code with your phone, a lot of times a little video will pop up about one of the animals here at Sunset Zoo. With Wi-Fi, obviously, it'll make that much more accessible for people using their cell phones to access those QR codes. And we're really excited about that because we have a lot of information out there that we think people would enjoy knowing if they can just access it.
Are there ways that this internet is going to be able to enhance the way that they can care for or monitor the animals?
Yes, it will. It's our hope that we'll set up what we call baby cams. So whenever we have an animal that's due to give birth, we want to put cameras on them so that we can monitor that. It'll allow the keeper staff to better monitor our animals 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
It'll also allow us at some point to upload some of those videos these cameras will take onto our webpage so that people can actually see some of these babies before they go out on exhibit. Melissa handles our social media. She and her staff handle all our social media. They do a great job of keeping the citizens of Manhattan updated on what's going on at the zoo.
And I think you have kind of a unique partnership with K-State, maybe with the vet med
We
students.
do. Our veterinary care is provided by Kansas State University's vet med hospital. We have 3 vets over there that are full-time vets that come out to our zoo. Almost all the students that are at the vet school do a 3-week rotation out here at the zoo just to get exposure to exotic animals.
Sure.
So we've got all of that personnel that come over here to help us with our collection. We have some of the best vet care in the country.
So Scott, you mentioned the genesis of the zoo was the WPA, and I know, Melissa, I think you were working recently with a local muralist or artist, Phyllis Cruz.
As we were building Expedition Asia, which is our most recent exhibit expansion, part of that whole expansion had 3 large pillars that were built by the WPA. And instead of destroying those pillars, we actually made those pillars a part of the habitat. The idea came about through the community and a donor to put a mural of how the zoo was built on that blank slate. Phyllis was commissioned to do this piece, and not only did she come in and she didn't just come in and paint. She came in and she learned, and she took historical pictures, and she talked to our keepers, and she said that Vlad, our Amir leopard, which is where the exhibit or the mural is, became one of her best friends because he would sit and watch her paint. She incorporated our animals into that mural. So some of our first historical members of the zoo that were kept here are incorporated into that mural, as well as some of our well-loved members of the zoo right now, like Susie is in there, our chimpanzee, and Vlad is in the mural as well. But it really brings full circle all about what the zoo isn't just about animals, it's about learning, it's about history. By teaching our community about its past, we're able to have them be interested in the future of the zoo too.
So Melissa, we kind of heard, where the zoo was, where it is today. You mentioned Expedition Asia, which is just wonderful. I mean, it really makes you feel like you're in a world-class zoo when you come here. What's in store for
next?
the zoo?
Yeah. We look to expand the zoo to its next phase, which will include things like a new lemur exhibit right at the front of the zoo. You will know you're in the zoo right when you enter those gates. We're also very excited to be bringing back a children's area, a children's farm where children can be exposed to animals. Or looking to expand to bring back our bobcat. We had the bobcat here before Expedition Asia, but due to our expansion there, we took that area of the zoo away, and we want to bring that back because we are home of the wildcats. After we have completed some of those initiatives, we will have reshaped this zoo, and we'll be creating better walking pathways, but also better Wi-Fi and access through all of those new areas of the zoo as well.
Well, thanks so much again for you two joining me today and talking to me a little bit about the Adopt Grant and how that's going to benefit the zoo.
We're so excited to have access, and we wouldn't be able to have that access without WTC.